Welcome to the Outdoor Archives. Out on a hike today, and I brought with me my ESEE4. I'm going to do a little overview and review, so stay tuned. So here it is, the ESEE4. Owned this knife for about 2 years. It's actually one of the first knives I've owned, and I've got to say that I do really like this knife. The Kydex sheath is excellent. It's got really good retention. It's got a belt clip, a lanyard, and this belt clip is even movable, so you can have it like this, like that. I had it on my pack like this. However you want to draw, that's up to you. You can remove it. So this is mostly known as a survival knife, but it can do bushcraft tasks. At least it's done everything I've asked of it, so let's look a little bit closer. Okay guys, as I mentioned before, the sheath is Kydex and the knife retention in here is absolutely excellent. These handles are linen micarta and the grip is good. This is made from 1090 high carbon steel, which some say isn't the greatest steel in the world, but the way ESEE does it, they do some special kind of heat treat. I don't know all the science behind it, but I'm here to tell you that this knife is pretty durable. It's gone through everything that I've put it through over the last couple of years. It does have a black finish here. Some do like that, some don't. It's to protect the knife from rusting. You can remove that coating if you want to. And it comes with a full flat grind. This model here is a clip point here. And if I had to do it again, I would not get the clip point, because if you're doing any batoning at all, I don't typically do a lot of batoning, but to do some kindling, I like to. That caused a little bit of an issue with that, but it's still doable. And I guess on that note, there's so many different models of, or at least configurations of the ESEE4. So have a look for that if you do decide to order it. So this is about 9 inches overall length, and it has a blade length of 4.5 inches, and it's 3/16 or 4 millimeters thick. So it's plenty thick to do some minor batoning anyway. Well guys, here's a little comparison to one of my favorite bushcraft knives, the ESEE Nordic. And you see it's got a little bit of a different shape here. This has a wider belly, I guess, and definitely a different grind. This has a Scandi grind, while this has the full flat grind. And the scales here have a little bit more of a swell in the middle for the grip. This one is by no means bad, but I do prefer the swells on this one here. So just so you get a comparison between the size and the the differences in shape. Well guys, I know somebody's gonna ask, and if this knife can baton or how well it batons, and this looks like it's about a 3-inch stump here. I don't know if you remember this stump. This is the one I cut my spoon from in my video probably about a year ago, and yeah, it's about 3 inches. So this would be a good candidate to do some light batoning with this guy. So I'm going to cut off a little piece and let it go. Okay guys, here's my piece of wood. I'm going to line up my knife. No problem at all. Even with this little clip point here, again, I wish I had just ordered the regular ESEE, but it is what it is. It does the job quite well, so. No problem at all. Right through. Yeah, so hopefully that will answer your questions about batoning. No problem at all for this knife. Let's do a little bit of feather sticking here. Not bad. It'll definitely do. Haven't done a whole lot of this chopping. Since this knife is not the largest knife out there, 9 inches total length, I'm guessing it's not going to be the greatest chopper, but let's see what happens. I can live with that. These are thin branches and there's absolutely no problem. This one's pretty thick here. There it goes. So this one's about 1.5 inches thick, and a little bit of work, you get through it. It's a pass. Guys, let's try putting a notch in this guy, see how it works. No problem at all. It's a nice little notch there. All right, let's check the tip strength out on this guy. So you can see, blade, tip, still in good condition, and I've done this before as well, so it holds up. Hey guys, so after all that batoning and everything else, chopping, still got a pretty decent edge on here where I can, shave little thin pieces of bark off here. So, this does hold up pretty well. So as I said before, 1095 steel. Some people say it's not a great steel. I've had no problems with it, and in fact all I've done is every once in a while I just run it through on the work sharp, a few minutes, give it a little bit on the strop, a few minutes, and keeps the blade in check. And again, this is not the sharpest blade in the world. I don't have the skill to sharpen these absolutely razor sharp, but all in all, I really like this knife. I think this knife was originally intended for survival purposes, but who says you can't use it for bushcraft? I mean, most of the tasks I did today are what you're going to do with it. A lot of people don't like this coating. They say it hinders when you baton. I guess that would be true. You could see here, you could see some lines from the baton. I guess it's a bit rough, so it's going to it's not going to be smooth going through there, but you can remove this coating if you like. The feel in the hand, really nice. Really smooth handles, and I find when these get wet, they still grip quite nicely. I've actually cleaned fish with this before. The jimping on the top is actually pretty nice, and you can do some controlled cuts with it. I might recommend taking a little Dremel or maybe a little file and just making this piece here just a little bit less sharp, because it does seem a bit sharper. If you were actually doing some heavy duty work and put some pressure in there, I think you'd actually cut yourself. Now, if there's one thing I had to pick that I don't like about this knife, although it is comfortable in the hand, it is pretty nicely balanced. These micarta scales here are a bit too thin for my hand. Now I have a pretty big hand, so I don't know if this is just me, but I find after long periods of time, it really stresses my wrist because I have to really put pressure to hold this knife tight. You can see how thin it is there. So if they had a little bit of a rounded kind of pommel here, a little rounded swells, whatever it is, whatever they call them, that's going to help a lot. And I actually think there's some aftermarket handles that you can put on here that are going to help. So that's not too big of a deal. I just wish though at this price point that the knife did come with it. Another thing that I'm not crazy about is this drop point here, clip point, whatever you want to call it. And the reason I had it is because, I mean, these knives are usually about $100 on sale. And somebody had ordered this one by accident and they didn't want the clip point. So they put it back on sale for, I think it was $70. And I said, hey, for that price, I'm buying it. And honestly, it's done awesome for me. Really like the knife. Feel like it's going to last forever. I'll probably end up giving this to my kids someday. So I really can't pick anything that bad about it. So, you know, is it a survival knife? I don't know. Is it a bushcraft knife? I don't know. It works for me. It works out here in the woods. I've taken it fishing, taken it hiking, camping, all that kind of stuff. And so far, everything I've thrown at it, it's handled excellently. So, hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please click on the like button. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more videos coming every week. We hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.